The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Did the Jets win the draft? Joel Klatt said they did. We'll tell you if he's right. Robby Sabo, I know, is probably going to disagree with that one. We'll break it all down for you. It's the Jake Asman Show, live on a Tuesday. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show, presented by PrizePicks. Click the like button and make sure you are subscribed to this very channel. If you haven't done so already, reminder, if you ever miss the YouTube show, our show is available live, or not live, but our show is available every day on Apple Podcast and Spotify. The numbers in April are about to shatter the numbers in March, which was the highest month we've ever had for downloads in audio form. So big thank you to everyone who tunes in either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Check it out if you ever miss the YouTube show live each and every day. Let's say hello right now to the founder of JetX, JetsXFactor.com, and the co-host of the Underdog podcast with Jets legend Wayne Corbett. It's our friend, Robby Sabo. Robby, the Bailey Bros, they won. They defeated you and the rest of the Arvell Army. How you feeling?
I mean, define one. If we're going to define winning.
Maybe they won the battle, but can the Arvell Army win the war?
You know, listen, if we're going to go by the Jets draft moves and define that by winning and losing, yeah, dude, you know, we're not teamed up with Mel Gibson, Braveheart. Let's just say that.
You got to hope that maybe both guys are really good, which is certainly possible. I like David Bailey, I think, more than you, but obviously he goes number 2. Were you surprised ultimately he went 2, or did you still think it was going to be Reese to the bitter end?
I thought it would be Reese based on Aaron Glenn. And when we see the free agent moves they made, it was physical. It was violent. It was his type of guys, IQ, instincts. And based on that logic, more complete football players, I thought it would be Reese. Is it a huge shock? You know, I mean, as I said on the show before, previous weeks, nothing the Jets do shock me. I'm immune at this point, Jake. The Asmaniacs listening have heard me through the years, time and again. I hated the hiring of the 33rd team. I said it. Now, I guess I was a brave man for saying it because I was getting clowned left and right. I didn't like the Glenn hiring. Again, everyone killed me. I hated the Rodgers for Field swap. Again, killed me. I'll say this. Listen, I just try to call balls and strikes. Don't let me bring you down, Jets fans. Keep up the energy. I love it. But, you know, I'm going to call balls and strikes. That's the bottom line.
Well, I'll tell you what. You might disagree with this big take from Joel Klatt, who, of course, is part of Fox's NFL coverage, and he was part of the NFL Network's coverage for this draft, sitting up there at the desk with Rich Eisen and DJ and the whole crew. This was Joel Klatt, a guest with Kay Adams yesterday, talking about how the New York Jets, Robby Sabo, they won the NFL draft.
Who's the winner for you? The winner from draft weekend? It could be a team, an executive
I loved what the Jets did.
Okay.
I loved what the
Shout
Jets did.
out Eisen and a beautiful farewell.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of what the Giants did. So both New York teams liked what they were able to do. But the Jets in particular, they prioritized production over potential, which I really love. In my world, in the college game, that's paid off for Indiana. So the first round, the 3 first rounders, Bailey, Sadiq, and Cooper, really like them. Then they get D'Angelo Pons. He was my favorite player in the entire draft. I know that he's only 5'9", but who's going to know how to get the best out of a 5'9" corner? Aaron Glenn, right? Like that's a perfect fit right there. I love what the Jets did. I think they, from a team perspective, had my favorite draft.
What's your issue with anything Joel Klatt said there?
Yeah, I think we just need to think a little more deeply. I love the Cooper pick. Love it. Love the Pons pick. Love it. Do not like the Bailey pick over Reese. Harbaugh. I gotta find out stories with people in that draft room to see how quickly he rose out of his chair once Saleh picked Tate at number 4 because he didn't hesitate. And guess what? I'll side with Harbaugh over the Jets, Cards, and Saleh. 2 fired Jets coaches in number 3 at number 4, and then Maui Goa at 10. A theme for me in this draft is that great organizations and great head coaches don't step on the rake. And Aurel Reese, who I think is a far superior, more complete football player than David Bailey, falls to 5. Harbaugh doesn't even what position is he going to play, all this little stuff. Nonsense. Just take the better player. He's loaded at edge already. He could play him at linebacker, move him to edge when they go 5 down in certain situations, certain packages. You figure it out because he's the better player. But Harbaugh with Reese accepts that gift. Maui Goa accepts that gift. Baltimore had every reason to take Sadiq. Every reason at 14. Yet the best offensive lineman in the draft, in my mind, in Vega Ione, dropped to 14. They don't hesitate. And then Mekhi Lemon, Philly, said, enough of this nonsense. We're trading up and we're gonna draft him, and he's not gonna stop. He's not gonna fall one more pick. But Sadiq, I'm hot and cold on. I'm not as down on that pick as number 2. It's more so the tight end depth was so good. I love Stowers in terms of a non-blocking, non-physical, non-violent tight end who's more of a receiver. I like Stowers as much as Sadiq. His catch radius is a lot more impressive to me. I even think he breaks tackles better than Sadiq. Sadiq's got that speed, obviously. He's the combine guy. But overall, that's the theme to me. I think the great organizations and great head coaches graciously accepted gifts and didn't overthink it, whereas some of the other teams did.
Do you think the Jets overthought it, though, with Sadiq? I think he was their best player. They had him graded higher than the receivers that were there, and that's why they took him. And I think Muji had a good feel for the board that one of the guys they were targeting at wide receiver would potentially be there at the end of round 1, and they had a trade worked out if that scenario existed, and then they executed.
Sure. The Sadiq, I'm not going to crush the Sadiq pick. I'm not going to crush. I don't love it. But
I didn't love it in real time, but I like it a lot more because I can't criticize them for doubling up on pass catcher.
Let's put it this way. It comes down to, and we often throw this out the window for some reason, and it's out of sight, out of mind. Just the evaluation of the players involved, and forget position, forget draft board value. In terms of Lemon versus Sadiq, I don't think it's close. I'm taking Mekhi Lemon. And the cherry on top, I just think he's the better player. The IQ, the instincts are there. Sadiq's instincts and IQ, I don't know, just spatial stuff. In terms of reading coverages, does he go down a little easier than he should for his body, his prototype? We'll see. I think Wright could do some things, but tight end was deep too. Man, those mid-round there are so many guys in this draft that you'd feel good with in terms of drafting in the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe even 4th. A couple went in the 4th, but did they overthink it in this vein? Too specific with these players? Because to me, Bailey and Sadiq are not complete players. They're more specialized in a lot of different ways. Sadiq is a specialized tight end who's not really a blocker. So he's, you kind of have to evaluate him as a receiver, whereas Bailey, same thing, but pass rushing as opposed to the more complete game where he wins on quickness and speed. and hands and first step and no violence and no physicality. So that's it. I mean, overall, the draft, I liked pretty much every pick except for those two, the first two.
Interesting. I understand you liked Lemon better than Sadiq. So did I. But I almost feel like if you're going to still come away with Cooper, I liked Cooper enough where if they took him at 16, I don't think I'd criticize the Jets. I'd say maybe that's a little early, but I'm the one telling everyone that Alec Pierce is making $30 million a year almost, and it's basically a premium position now. So if you got a slightly overdraft, I mean, that's where you're going to find cost control weapons in today's game. So
imagine this scenario: Reese at 2, Lemon at 16, Cooper at 30, Stowers in the second round.
I just don't think that'd be possible for them to go 2 receivers who predominantly, when think about it, Lemon is predominantly a slot guy. Garrett also is going to be used in the slot and on the outside. And then you're going to bring in Cooper, who can play on the outside. He did 2 years ago, but you're going to use a lot of his reps in the slot. Maybe they think it was a good fit if they went that way.
I just think we think too much about positions, but it's okay. So think about it this way: reset 2, Lemon at 16, keep that number 33, trade down, grab more assets, go Ponds and Stowers in the second round. Like that's feasible too. So listen, it's again, Jets fans, don't let me get you down. I've been Mr. Wrong in the past many times, just not recently in the last 2 years.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We're reviewing the Jets draft class with Robby Sabo after Joel Klatt said the Jets won the draft.
Everybody wins.
They chose productivity over projection, essentially, which there's nothing wrong with that. But in terms of Bailey now, like expectation-wise, what are the expectations year one? I mean, I think this guy needs to have at least 8 sacks as a rookie to feel good about the pick. I don't think that's unreasonable. This guy's the number 2 pick in the draft. He is the top player in this draft that is not Fernando Mendoza, right? The first non-QB to go. Part of the PR spin from the Jets has been, well, Bailey is more ready, and you're not projecting his position, whereas Reese would be learning on the fly how to become a big-time pass rusher. So what are the expectations in your mind now for David Bailey?
Yeah, I mean, let's get this out of the way. That narrative, and you labeled it correctly, is completely absurd. It's an absurd thing to say. I understand why the Jets do it, but it's absurd. And Glenn, in the presser afterwards, his comment kind of struck me. He said both guys are going to have a great career. And by the way, Reese going to the Giants, I love it personally. I absolutely love it because
it adds pressure to Bailey to be a performer because he's going to be directly compared to the other guy in town.
I love it. And we're not thinking about this enough, honestly. And I get it. Everyone gets wrapped up with their own team. But the rationale, what Glenn said afterwards, struck me in that Bailey fits them better. He didn't say Bailey's a better player. He said Bailey fits them better. And there are times when you want to go with the better fitting player. I just don't think this is one of them at number 2. I think you take the better player. So the other thing is too, it's like, it just feels like there's different timelines in terms of decision makers. I wonder, and I don't know anything, but based on free agency and based on what happened with the coaches, where it took so long, it doesn't feel like they have one final boss at the top making the decisions, like a Harbaugh in New York with the Giants. Because if you saw that post-draft presser, Shane was just parroting everything Harbaugh was saying. It just feels like Reese is much more of an Aaron Glenn guy than Bailey, and it's not close.
Well, I think Muji was way more involved in the draft this year. I mean, all you needed to do was hear Muji talk about how they changed their entire scouting grading system.
It feels like analytics led the way, and that's a scary thing. And also, are they overthinking it in this vein? Oh, the NFL trends going to more two tight ends. But did you overthink it in that vein as opposed to taking the better overall player is my question.
But here's the thing. We can't criticize the Jets for being archaic with the, we want to run the ball and smash mouth football and ignore strategy. And then we see them go out there and clearly have a real plan. Like Brian Costello always says he doesn't like giving out draft grades, but he'll grade on logic.
Yeah.
Like the logic of what they did, I don't think you could argue. Like David Bailey, I know you're not as high on him as some, but there were plenty who felt he was a no-brainer, best pass rusher in the draft. You just take him. Sadiq, big-time weapon, not going to get out of the top 12. He was there for you. Cooper, no way he'd be there at 30 for the Jets. They got great value with their picks. If you look at like the prospects they took, their none of them were considered like reaches or like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, we can't criticize the Jets for how they operated a year ago with their mentality and now trying to modernize their offense with 12 personnel and matchup advantages that Sadiq can provide. You know what I mean? Like, I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt for at least trying to be a modern NFL team.
I know what you're saying, but I think we're conflating two things: coaching and evaluation of personnel. Again, it comes down to, and we throw this aside, it comes down to the specific evaluations that we have of these players. And that's what it comes down to. And you could criticize the coaching for being archaic and the mindset in terms of coaching being archaic and think they drafted the wrong guy and went too far in a certain specific direction. But I get what you're saying overall in terms of that theme.
Well, I just think Muji was more involved, but I think that's a good thing because I think he's got a pulse. He's got a clue. He comes from Denver, where they're one of the better teams at drafting over the last couple of years under Sean Payton. Like, I just think you look at what they did, there was, to me, a real plan. Whereas a year ago, it kind of felt like, especially on day 3, there necessarily wasn't a real plan. Like, they just lit picks on fire.
But see, early though, there was a plan. Membu, Glenn talked about power rushing, doing that thing. Fine. Drafted him, and he's a hell of a pick so far. Mason Taylor, he wasn't given much of an opportunity. So the plan, quote unquote, could be spun in a number of different directions. That's why I just try to stick to the evaluation with each player.
Isn't it possible they evaluated David Bailey though, and they thought he was the best player?
Dude, I'm not going to try to get in their minds.
That should be the messaging, but I do think they thought Sadiq was better than the wide receivers that were on the board there. I think they just, again, I think you talk about coaching, go listen to Frank Reich on the call with Kenyon Sadiq. That was a Frank Reich influenced pick.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
All right, he was a happy guy calling Sadiq there.
Right, which feels like, again, it goes back to, it doesn't feel like there's one clear-cut leader, and that's is an eyebrow raiser for me.
Well, do you really want Aaron Glenn to be the clear-cut leader when it was as bad as it was in year 1?
I just want one guy to be. And
I think it's Muji.
Listen, see, we're getting into stuff that's well beyond, 6 feet of digging the hole. Like, me and you have had a conversation after the season that would have put all of this to bed. So, look, I just, the situation to have is what you have in New York with the Giants with Harbaugh. One clear-cut guy, confident, making the decisions. And I don't know what's going on with the Jets. I don't know if it has shifted from Glenn to Muji. I'm just asking the questions because it just feels like things don't seem to be matching up in a lot of ways for me.
Well, hopefully Glenn has either adapted and realized some of the wrongs in year 1, but I think it's way more collaborative. I don't think Muji's like, Aaron, I don't care about your opinion. I'm taking this player no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I do think Muji's more involved. I mean, Glenn said as much when he spoke at the Combine about how involved Muji and Rick Spielman, for that matter, were in some of the coaching staff hires. Muji talked about how they overhauled a lot of their scouting staff. They have hired more analytics people. I spoke with someone in the Jet front office that specifically mentioned Sadiq as a way to open things up for Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor. So I don't think it's like, oh, well, they missed on Taylor, he doesn't fit. It's like, no, they want to be modern with 12 personnel, use Sadiq as a power slot, and Taylor's the inline tight end.
Love that. I would not criticize that line of thinking. No way. I think that's a very positive sign.
So, look, the proof will be on the field. We could be excited about a draft class all we want. We've done this many times as Jet fans. Like the Jets have had plenty of A's or A minuses over the years, and they've done nothing with it when the games actually mattered. But I do want to at least try and be positive when we can be positive, because I think most fans come away from this draft encouraged and feel like, hey, maybe we actually have a real general manager. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Robby Sabo is my guest. Load up your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline if you want in on the conversation. Couple programming notes. The Jets Collective will be live today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, a day version of the Jets Collective. Join me, Rich Cimini, and Brandon Tierney as we recap and break down the 2026 New York Jets draft class. Rich will have updates on the latest on Breece Hall and a possible contract extension that could be coming there. So join us 2 p.m. today. We're taping during the day, so BT and I don't have to be on the air during a Knicks playoff game because God knows how stressful that could potentially be. On our show today, we're going to give away a signed Darrelle Revis helmet. Enter the Asmaniac raffle for your chance to win a helmet signed by one of the greatest New York Jets of all time. I'm holding it in my hand right now. It includes the sticker from Beckett memorabilia of authentication. So if you want in on a Revis helmet, get the membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher to qualify. And here we go. New set of weekly raffle prizes. Prize 1, signed Joe Klecko football. Prize 2, signed Vinny Testaverde jersey. Prize 3, Garrett Wilson framed jersey plaque. Prize 4, signed Braylon Allen jersey. Those are the first 4 prizes in the weekly raffle next week on our show. Here we go. Ozzy, the first to enter the Asmaniac raffle. He's in for
Are you a
one.
happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Ozzy's gifted membership went to listener Craig F. Mechanic. So, Ozzy, thank you very much for your support. All right, we got a bunch of super chats I want to get caught up on, and then I have more thoughts on the draft that I want to get Robbie's take on, including...
By the way, I love the Cooper, Daryl Jackson, and Pons picks. Love them. Absolutely. I think they were home runs.
Oh, we'll get to that. And then I want to get your thoughts on Cade Clubnick as well. This one is from James, who starts it off. He goes, I showed up late to the stream, but I couldn't wait to see your face, Sabo, after this draft, LOL. But I read your article on the right. Only the Jets think they are the smartest in the room. Is there a live cam on Robbie when they took David Bailey?
I was at the Jets facility. Honestly, unfazed. I just went through the list with you guys. You remember, I'm not talking out of my ass. Hated the 33rd. We talked about it on the show. Hated the 33rd team. I thought it was a terrible process.
You did. I actually defended it at the time because I'm like, I'd rather have Spielman and Tannenbaum oversee this than just letting Woody do it. But
right.
That's all you need to know.
And I understand that mindset. It's taking the better of two evils. But I just
no, you were right. I think a big problem with the Jets, and this is a whole separate conversation for another day.
Yeah.
And a big problem with the Jets is I don't believe Woody Johnson has good contacts around the league. So he has to rely on a guy he fired 15 years ago.
Yeah. But or you could just do whatever you can. Sell your soul for one guy who could lead the team. And I think it's possible. It's feasible. Leon Hess, I wouldn't say he had great contacts either. And that was a once in a generation thing, sort of, with Parcells. It was just right time, right place, right time. Rodgers for Fields, and listen, I'm not saying Rodgers is a great quarterback still, but there's value in having a productive quarterback still. And, I don't know. Listen, unfazed. Camera on my face could be fine. I'd be unfazed at this point. Anything they do, they literally do the opposite of, in this regime, they do the opposite of what I want every single time.
Since they hired Glenn, that's been the case as well.
Since they hired the 33rd team. Yes.
Yeah, I was more open to that. But again, they didn't even interview Mike McCarthy. They didn't even interview some of the top candidates, Liam Cohen.
Membu was the only one I agreed with. I thought that was a good pick.
Yeah, I was pro lineman over tight end last year. Still was.
I was more okay with either one. More so probably because Warren was that special and it was the 10th pick as opposed to number 2. And the class was better overall. This class I've just felt like was just so weak, and Reese was the outlier in terms of complete player, IQ, instincts, all that stuff. But dude, I'll do the Truman Show thing. Get that camera ready. Let's go.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. We will get to some of your super chats right now. Then we certainly have more on the draft to break down. Brian writes in, Robbie, don't make us send you to the hole. No one's being sent to the hole around here. But if you do want to send Robbie to the hole, it costs $50 or 10 gifted memberships.
Oh, baby. Someone will do it.
James says, I like the players, but the better players on the board you could have got Reese Lemon and trade up for Sadiq. We were trading picks away anyway, LOL. Yeah, but I don't think the Jets thought Sadiq would have been there. I don't think you could just say, reverse it and take Cooper at 16 and then trade back in for Kenyon Sadiq. Sadiq was thought to go earlier than 16. Rich Samini said on our Jets Collective podcast, he will not be there. And he had heard that the Jets were interested in Sadiq. He was the first to mention it publicly and report that he heard from people in scouting circles, Sadiq in the Jets is a real fit and a name to watch.
Yeah, he was pushing in the top 12 also from, and I heard that with Samini, and I agreed with it. So, yeah, I don't think they could have traded up for Sadiq.
This one is from Sam. Thank you, Sam. Bailey pick looks like last-minute ownership swing vote. Convinced me that this coaching staff can develop these players. Well, Sam, let's be real. Reese is going to need some development. So if Bailey's just going to come in and just be the pass rusher, there's less quote-unquote development there, and you have a really good D-line coach. So I get the questions with Aaron Glenn. Believe me, for at least this upcoming season, I know the Jets have a proven defensive line coach who players that have played for Carl Dunbar have sweared by, including Leger Duzable, who was pro David Bailey, and talked about how when he was a Jet, Dunbar helped Leger become a million times better against the run and made him a better run defender than a pass rusher. So that's someone who played for the current Jet D-line coach. So I understand the concerns, but I do think whether it's Bailey or Reese, Carl Dunbar, his job is to develop both those guys. There's no perfect prospect that gets drafted. I don't care if you go number 2 in the draft.
Yeah, I don't think it was Woody. Do not think it was Woody at all. The farthest thing you could say about Woody is, again, questioning who that final voice is. Is there one? Is it collaborative to a fault? I think that's the furthest you can go with Woody.
Let's see. Doc writes in, not sure I follow Klatt's productivity over projection proclamation. Sadiq 1-year starter, 560 yards, 8 touchdowns. Lemon 764, 1156, 11 touchdown, 2-year starter. Maybe he just meant in total with their picks, like their 4 picks in the top 50 they ended up with. Pons, proven player, a lot of experience. Bailey, productive at Stanford, really productive at Stanford, even better at Tech. Sadiq's a bit of a projection, but Cooper, super productive for multiple years. So maybe he was just referencing, in totality, they went with, productivity over projection for 3 of 4. But you're right. Sadiq is the projection pick. Whereas, like, if they took Reese and Sadiq, then you got 2 guys you're kind of projecting, right? At least Bailey, it's like, hey, his ceiling might not be as high as what Arvo Reese could do, who's a couple years younger and is the better overall athlete. But you know what David Bailey could do. Like, this guy's coming in to rush the passer.
No, but we don't. Like, we don't know if it's going to translate.
We don't know if Reese is going to translate that. We don't know about any of these guys.
Right.
But the Jets' thought process is they know what position Bailey's going to play already. Do they not?
Yeah. I mean,
whereas Reese is probably playing inside linebacker a lot more than for the Giants than he would have the Jets.
But like Sadiq is the offensive version of Reese.
Correct.
Right? So,
but you don't like Sadiq, it sounds like.
Well, no. Like I just said, I'm not going to hammer the Sadiq pick. But the point is, it just comes down to who's available at the time for me. I understand the vision and the narrative. I get that. I just don't think those first two picks is not the direction I would have gone.
Let's see. Super chat from Kashmir, who says, remember, we rebuilding, being a good to average team don't benefit the Jets if they're trying to get a potential franchise QB in the 2027 draft. We're going to have this conversation a lot, and it's going to be exhausting. There are so many different avenues to get a quarterback. We cannot be worried about tanking at this given moment. You just can't.
I agree with that. You got to try to win.
The Jets have 3 1s, which means they could just be bad on their own. They could trade up with their extra picks, or the Colts could be bad. The Cowboys could be bad. The Packers could be bad. Are those less likely than the Jets? Sure, but remember, Garrett Wilson's a Jet right now because the Seattle Seahawks had a Super Bowl window, made the trade for Jamal Adams, and then Russell Wilson got hurt. They picked 10th that year, and that's why the Jamal Adams pick in year 2 netted the Jets Garrett Wilson 10th overall. Like, things happen, man. Wow. And again, we don't know how many quarterbacks are going to be in this draft next year. And how often is the first quarterback picked actually the best from the class? So there's multiple avenues the Jets could get their franchise QB. Again, remember the suck for Sam year? They got Sam at 3. That was a gift. We weren't supposed to get Sam Darnold 3rd overall. He was going number 1 at Cleveland. So things happen, man.
Change late.
You can't freak out about this. There's just too much unknown. We don't even know if next year's class is going to live up to the hype like this year's class was supposed to.
Yeah. By the way, I agree with the narrative. Try to win. Don't try to tank. No, you want to try to win. I
Was
just don't buy
Muji
the
supposed to light picks on fire? Like people criticizing the Jets because they added too many good players is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
right. I just don't agree with the narrative that Bailey's more ready now than Reese is. That's the only thing I disagree with. That's just nonsense. But the court. By the way, how crazy is it? They traded Jamal Adams. Seattle nets them a great pick. They trade Sauce. The Colts net them a great pick, and still they haven't been able to click and turn this thing around.
No.
Unexpectedly better picks than you think were going to come.
It comes down to quarterback,
Coaching,
and coach and quarterback. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Sean McVay could have fixed Zach Wilson. Sean Payton couldn't. Mike McDaniel couldn't.
It's like when people say it comes down to quarterback, they drafted the right guy in Darnold.
Right. There's two separate conversations with like the Jets' history of drafting quarterbacks. Like sometimes they've drafted the right guy and failed that player. Sam is the best example of this.
Yeah.
Other times they've just drafted guys who can't play. Like Christian Hackenberg flat out could not play. He was a second round pick. He never took a snap in a regular season game. Like think about how bad that is. He's actually just from like a value standpoint, like a bigger bust than Zach Wilson, but obviously Zach Wilson's the biggest bust because he was the number 2 pick who started 35 games in the league. You know what I mean? There's different levels of like badness.
Without question.
The atomic clock says I'm drinking the green Kool-Aid again. It's funny.
Good, man. Dude, I don't want any fans to be negative or upset. You're supposed to be positive right now. Absolutely.
Isn't this comment amazing, though? What is the biggest thing people knock me for? Oh, you're so negative, this and that. It's like, well, if you actually watch my show, I usually am positive when I can be. And I was incredibly positive when we first started doing these daily shows when Salah got hired in January of 2021.
Even last year with Glenn, Glenn.
I gave Glenn a chance, man. Yeah.
You wanted to smack me with some of the things I said about Fields last year. Like, it's ridiculous, the criticism. Ridiculous.
Well, just like, again, it's like you can't win with people because now I'm too positive. It's like, come on, man. They had a really good draft. I'm excited about it. I still have major reservations about the head coach. But what this draft, I think, has done, Robbie, they have now, put themselves in a spot where, one, for 2027, they're way better equipped to be able to handle a young quarterback. And two, they're better equipped to know if Aaron Glenn's going to be their coach or not. Because if he can't win 7 or 8 games with this team, then he shouldn't be here for 2027. And you go and hire the top offensive guy or the most experienced coach that makes sense to turn your franchise around, like what the Giants just did with Harbaugh. The Jets could do that with a Tomlin or a McDermott, or they could be the team that hires the next Clint Kubiak, the next Liam Cohen, or the next Ben Johnson. Then maybe that guy is Davis Webb, who Sean Payton stepped down as the offensive play caller in Denver to not lose Davis Webb. Muji knows Davis Webb. Maybe that's you know what I mean? Like you could start to look ahead to that. But the biggest thing they've accomplished is they made their team, at least from a roster standpoint, a professional roster. Now it's on the coaching staff to get the most out of these players.
Even if in a world where even if they're wrong on Bailey and Sadiq, the draft could still be a net positive at the end of the day. Think about that. So, they could have put themselves in a way better position, 100%.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Keep the super chats rolling. PBM writes in, imagine the circus if we had Mike Vrabel right now. Look, it'd be a circus, but would any Jet fan really care if Mike Vrabel had the Jets in the Super Bowl? Come on.
Nah, dude.
Again,
the
he cheated on his wife.
Legendary.
It's bad. All right. It's terrible. Diana Rossini lost her job as she should, as someone who is, supposed to be an unbiased reporter. But Mike Vrabel, he didn't commit a crime. He's not going to lose his job for that.
Well, not that
and again,
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible for the spouses and the kids involved, but I think Jet fans would back Mike Vrabel in a second if he had our team in the freaking Super Bowl in his first year.
Dude, it could be a masked murderer roaming the sidelines. If he won the Super Bowl, Canyon of Heroes parade.
Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat from Kashmir. QB play and coaching will determine our fate. Always.
It's critical.
Have they not improved at quarterback, though? Like, no matter what you think of this version of Geno, he is so much better than anything we saw on the field last year from any Jet passer. It is not even funny.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And by the way, no matter what you think of Sadiq versus Lemon at 16, the idea, the thought process in terms of what you can do with Reich and Sadiq as that number 2 tight end is really good stuff. It really is. If you watch Reich last year, his last stuff at Stanford, he loves that Y leak. He loves that play action, whether it's a sifter or the Y leak in the shallow cross. that could be Sadiq. Get him on the move, do some motion, and then why leak it a lot? So I expect him to hold down that role.
I mean, you look at Frank Reich's tight end usage, like he's had some guys that have put up some numbers in the league before when he's been, an offensive coordinator. Zach Ertz, Antonio Gates, Eric Ebron, Mo Alley Cox, Trey Burton, Jack Doyle, Jelani Woods. He's still a Jet, I think. I think they brought him back to probably be inactive every game for another season.
UDFA, Curtis, I forget the first name. But yeah, Curtis, it's interesting. Reich as the head coach dominated with 11 personnel, but other spots where he was the OC, it was more 2 tight ends. It was interesting. I think he's the type of guy, sometimes he's had great rushing teams, sometimes not. I think he's the type of guy who molds his offensive strategy around the personnel, which is never a bad thing.
Super chat, cut the line. This one is from NYC Restaurant Guy. Agree with Robby 100%. Taking Bailey because he's proven and can produce now, but then taking Sadiq, who's a complete project, didn't make sense.
I wouldn't call Sadiq a complete project.
That's what I was going to say. Again, he's a 1-year starter, but you can't ignore what he did in that 1 year, and you can't ignore his athletic prowess and just how him being out there helps open up things in your offense.
No. I think the biggest theme for me is that the first two picks are very specialized guys. Very specialized. And I wonder if that hinders them in the long run or not. That'll be the interesting thing. How specialized was that thought process in terms of how they fit into what they want to do? And did they pass on more complete players in the long run because of that? I think that's the biggest thing.
Rick Kent says Jelani Woods must make a great cup of coffee. He's got to be doing something, man. He keeps getting jobs. Crazy.
Yeah, he's been hurt so much, man. He's got some talent too.
How did he never get on the field last year, though? Again, the Jets were awful.
Yeah.
They needed anything.
I don't know. Another positive, Rucker could play a lot more fullback if needed, but they love Beck, obviously. So they got some bodies in the fullback tight end room.
I mean, if it's Rucker versus Beck, Rucker needs to win that battle.
I agreed because he just got paid too, so he's gonna. But I think those 4 are locks for sure. You got the 3 tight ends and then Beck, so you got 4 right there.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We'll get to your calls coming up. Signed Darrelle Revis helmet is the raffle prize at the end of the shows today. So make sure you enter. Plus, we have a new set of weekly prizes after we did the Asmaniac mega raffle on our second show yesterday. This one is from the big fella who will be in action today, Robby, in Asmaniac Madness. It's big fella versus Chef Kevin
Final Four
for a spot in the Final Four. And then tomorrow, Gorman versus Gary, 3D boxing for the other side of the bracket Final Four, and the championship is Friday.
Right? There's 2 Final Four teams already, or is there still 8?
No, the Final Four is set. We are down 2-4, and the matchup will get underway this afternoon.
Gotcha, got it. So
I know you're hyped.
Oh, dude, I'm hyped. Leany got knocked off. I saw that. That's a tough one.
Today it's big fella and Chef Kevin. Tomorrow it's Gorman and Gary. Championship Friday.
Gary, the villain. He's like John Rocker come back to life. This dude, if he wins it, I don't know how people are going to feel. We shall see.
Super chat from Kyle Clifton. I didn't get to this at the end of the show yesterday, so I took a screenshot. Yesterday, Kyle said that he's voting for Charles Gorman because it would mean more to him to win Asmaniac Madness than Gary 3D boxing. And Gary took offense to that and said, what? It should be about who's the most entertaining caller? What is this? A communist country? So Gary went off on Kyle.
Did he say
Kyle
that?
said,
Communist country?
He said he implied communism. I forget what the exact wording was. Kyle then wrote in, does Gary think that Charles isn't at least entertaining as himself? This is the Final Four. We're deep into tiebreakers here.
I gotta say, Gorman denouncing his Jets fandom is a hell of a thing he overcame. Like, he pulled off some magic acts to get here. I got to be honest.
He did. Well, sometimes you got to leave it all out there, and
Hail
Charles
Mary,
did that
baby.
and more.
No, thank you. Jets. Let's go.
Robby, you picked a terrible time to duck your head. I wanted you to look at your screen so you could see greatness.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Jets. Let's go.
That's how Gorman got here. He left it all out there.
The man's ear. The man's ear.
All right. Anyway, big fellas, super chat. Sabo, do you think we sign a linebacker and another wide receiver?
Well, they signed that Blackshire kid linebacker. I was doing the depth chart last night. I don't know. It'll be interesting because you got who would be the third right now? It would be Maui Goa, McCrary Ball, or Mykal Walker. And I know they like Mykal Walker. He's going to be a special teamer. So I could see them signing another linebacker, but they could also go ahead with these guys also. And what was the other position? What was the other position?
Well, wide receiver.
Wide receiver. They're 12 deep right now. We'll see. We'll see if any of these UDFAs look solid next week at rookie minicamp. I think it starts there.
They should sign another veteran. Keenan Allen's out there. Stephon Diggs, Jawan Jennings, Deebo Samuel, Tyreek Hill. Again, I'm just throwing names out there. I know they're not going to sign Tyreek Hill. DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Reynolds, Curtis Samuel, Gabe Davis, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tim Patrick. There's a connection there between Muji and Tim Patrick. That's my prediction. Didn't Tim Patrick play for the Lions too?
It sounds right.
I'm going to predict they signed Tim Patrick.
Who's their fourth right now? Isaiah Williams, right? Would be their fourth. You got Garrett, Adani, Omar, and then Isaiah Williams. Skinner. Can Quentin Skinner take a step up? That's a question too.
Sterling Shepard. I think they'll add at least another veteran here.
I would agree.
1-year deal. Bring someone in. Professional.
Yeah, running back, they're good. Quarterback, what do you think about Clubnick? I don't know if I heard your stuff on Clubnick yet.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
We are gonna get to that. All right. I'll say the full Clubnick thing in just a bit. But I'll say this about quarterback. I don't want them to sign another veteran. I want the room to be Geno, Clubnick, and Bailey Zappi. I don't need another veteran. Let Clubnick play if something happens to Geno.
With an eye on next draft.
Yes. I am not doing anything to try and win games with Tyrod Taylor, Cooper Rush, who they bring in. Like, Geno plays, he goes down, Cade Clubnick time, and I'm fine with letting the chips fall where they may.
Under normal circumstances, this quarterback room is not enough. But what you just said in terms of what's the scenario right now, I'm okay with that.
Now, they might not look at it that way because Muji doesn't know if he's definitely guaranteed 2027. Like, if Geno has a Rodgers-like injury, God forbid, he goes down, all of a sudden, is Cade Clubnick ready to start a full season? Probably not as a fourth-round rookie. So they probably will add someone, I had to guess. But
Tyrod?
I think it's going to end up being Tyrod brought back. I wouldn't bring him back. Like, I don't see the point in it. But if they want to bring him back, fine. He's going to get hurt anyway. So it is what it is. Michael Greco checks in. Who is the blonde in the front of the Jet chant at the draft show? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen.
I missed this.
It is 10:50 in the morning, but this still must be played.
What? Calm your freaky down.
Good God, Michael. Come on.
Freaky
Family
knows
program.
no time period. Freaky has all time frame.
Family program.
Let's go.
Yeah. Ted checks in. Won the Revis signed helmet yesterday. Let's go, Ted. Shoot me an email, asmanjake@gmail. I need your information, Ted, and we'll get that sent out to you this week. Congrats to Ted and our other Asmaniac weekly raffle winners. I remember Amanda Madison reported a robbery recently. I gift my Revis helmet to Amanda. Go Charles. Wow. How about that, Ted? I didn't even read the end of his super chat when I asked for his address. Ted gifting the helmet to Amanda after she reported a robbery recently. I think we know what robbery that was, Robbie.
I need y'all to make 50 fake accounts, 50 burner accounts. They're not fake. They're real accounts. They're just burner accounts. And then go vote for me from all 50 accounts.
It's like worse than Watergate. What the hell? What is going on here?
A lot of controversy in Asmaniac Madness.
Tons. My God, dude. And he's in the Final Four, dominating.
Ted, do me a favor. If you want to donate the prize, that's obviously your prerogative, but shoot me an email anyway with your T-shirt size and address, and I want to send you a Jake Asman Show related shirt from my merch store because that's very kind of you. Wealth checks in. Every team is going to run right at Bailey. Robbie, you did the breakdowns. I know you're certainly concerned about his run defense. They got Will McDonald as well. Can the Jets play both Bailey and McDonald at the same time? Can Bailey get better as a run defender? Who's better right now? Kind of evaluate the entire situation.
So anyone could get better at anything. Let's start there. I think the biggest conversation, and I'm going to go into strategy, but first, the biggest conversation is Bailey going from the Big 12, Texas Tech, where it's 3-3-5, air raid, wide open, playing a lot of 5-4-eye, playing out of structure, where they allowed him to do a lot of action, a lot of freelancing, to playing within structure. And that hasn't been a conversation. It's like a quarterback going from RPO to a pro style offense. That's going to be the first big thing. And I think if they can get that down with him first, that's going to help him a lot more. Two ways you could handle this. Start with base. Let's 4-3 or 3-4. Call it two edges. You have Enigbari on the strong side, Sam, if it's a 3-4, Osai, Jack, or Leo, whatever you want to call it, on the weak side. And then McDonald and Bailey come in for sub-package downs. That won't get them enough plays, though. So the other way to handle it, Enigbari and Osai hold down the Sam. McDonald and Bailey rotate at the Leo on the weak side. And if Glenn is envisioning it that way, that would make a lot more sense. You could use a lot of action with the Leo. You could do a lot more things, but still, I think it paints you into a corner, which I just wouldn't love as a coach. But that's the way to handle it. That's the way to envision it right now.
Your thoughts on what the initial plan will be for like a percentage of snaps for David Bailey? Will McDonald played 16% as a rookie. You know Bailey's playing more than that as the second pick in the draft. He better play at least, 65% though?
It's always a tricky thing with the pass rush specialist because
he can't be a pass rush specialist is my point.
I'm not tagging him. Right, he can't be at number 2, but that's the way I view him right now. I'm not saying he's going to stay like that for his entire career, but that's the way. It's a tricky thing with the average pass rush specialist because finding him plays is tougher. It's most downs are balanced downs where you have to think run and pass. So I think, again, it's going to have to be McDonald and Bailey holding down the Leo, the weak side edge or weak side backer in a 3-4. And that's a way to get them closer to 50-50. And then sub package passing downs, get them both on the field. That's definitely the way you want to go. But that's going to have to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 and longer.
Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Kashmir says, it felt like the Jets were tanking last year. Well, I mean, because they were just awful, though. But they started 0-7 when they were trying to win. Explain that.
Trying to win, dude. Absolutely.
I mean, by the end of the year, were they doing everything in their power to win? No, they played, Brady Cook when Tyrod could have played the last 2 games. But again, no team had ever lost by the amount of points the Jets were losing their last 5 games. So even if you're not doing everything to win, the players who are out there are trying to win. And they quit on the coaching staff last year. I mean, that's why Glenn felt like he had to fire Steve Wilkes and not just wait till the end of the year. He fired him with 3 games to go.
Yeah, and not only that, they played Cook, they played other guys, they sat guys, and their game plans were as elementary and conservative as it gets. It was exhibition. It was beyond exhibition preseason.
Yeah, I mean, it was God.
Yeah, it was tough. It was rough.
Awful. Absolutely awful.
Scars on the brain.
What do we got here? Kyle Clifton writes in. Kyle, hope you saw I read your super chat from yesterday that we didn't get a chance to hit. Why was Sadiq a 1-year starter? Ferguson was there. So that's basically the reason why Sadiq only had 1 true year as a starter. Terrence Ferguson, who was a 2nd-round pick to the Rams in the 2025 draft, he was the starter there. So,
yeah,
Sadiq was behind him.
Yeah, Sadiq he's got a lot of raw potential. There's no question. They're going to have to coach it up. They're going to have to put him in the right spots, and they could do it. It's definitely possible. They could absolutely do it. He brings a lot to the field. I think in some ways you have to look at him as a receiver, though. I'm not saying he's going to play receiver full time, but that's kind of, you might have to look. Hey, maybe they play a lot of 13 personnel and have those 3 on the field with Garrett or Cooper when Garrett gets a blow. There's a lot you could do. If you go 13 personnel with Rucker, Mason, and Sadiq, the defense has to treat it as if it's 12 personnel. you don't want a backer or safety on Sadiq. Or if you do, it's got to be zone match. It can't be man to man. So that's the kind of thing you gotta think about in terms of deploying him.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We're going to get to the Cade Clubnick of it all. But Robby, before we do that, I want to talk about the fact that we're presented by my friends at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePick app, put $5 in, and you'll get $50 instantly in lineups if you use the code HMA. And here we go. PrizePicks has updated some of its NFL lineup options for the upcoming season that feature some of the rookies. So here's a PrizePick lineup that I put together that now features a brand new Fernando Mendoza option on PrizePicks. Here we go. Fernando Mendoza, more than 6.5 regular season games started. This feels like a free space in bingo. Obviously, injuries happen. But Robby, if Fernando Mendoza is healthy, he's going to start at least 7 games or more over the course of a 17-game season. So that was the first thing I picked because you got to, of course, pick at least one player from a different team. You can't just do all Jets. And then I went with Garrett Wilson, more than 999.5 receiving yards, because simply put, when Garrett has been healthy, he's gone over 1,000 yards in 3 of his first 4 years as a pro. And Breece Hall, I believe, with Frank Reich coordinating the offense and Geno Smith at quarterback, Breece Hall will find at least several targets per game. And I don't think 325.5 receiving yards is that big of a number for Breece to hit out of the backfield. So I went more on that for some context. Breece receiving yards, 218 as a rookie in 7 games. He would have shattered that if he stayed healthy. 591 year 2, 483 year 3, 350 this past year with Fields, Brady Cook, and all these awful options. So I think Breece going over 325.5 is a safe pick. $10 to pay out $57.50. You could make this pick or any of your own picks over at PrizePicks. Just download that app and use the code HMA. What do you think? Am I going to hit with this?
I like it. Mendoza, I think yes, he's gonna get there, but we don't know Kubiak's mindset yet. That's the wild card. That's what's going to be interesting. But I think you're pretty solid there. I like it.
Look, if Garrett Wilson's healthy, how does he not go over 1,000 yards?
He will.
There's no way. He's too good.
Yeah. Has to. And Breece, I think that's a lock. Again, healthy. It's all about injuries with these over-unders over the season.
Brother Yeti says, Jake, can you show us that hoodie? Shout out to the New York Sack Exchange, baby. Klecko, Lions, Salam, Gastineau. Let's hope David Bailey is as good at rushing the passer as Mark Gastineau, huh, Robby?
2 completely different players. Leo, get him on the weak side. Give him action. Let him use his quickness to elude, to go around. That'll be the thing. When he doesn't have to play in structure, he could do a lot of good things. That's going to be the thing. How much could Glenn devise a defense to where you could make up for him playing out of structure? I think that's going to be important.
Signed Darrelle Revis helmet is our raffle prize today. And Phil D'Angelo just sent me a $20 Venmo under the guidelines of Bailey Therapy. Venmo, for anyone who doesn't want to pay money through Mr. Tube, Venmo is Jake-Asman. So, Phil, you are in the Asmaniac raffle now for 4 entries. Phil, thank you very much. We got you down. Signed Revis helmet is our prize at the end of our show with Joe Blewett this afternoon. Super chat here from Bang Mateo, who says Sadiq is a Jonnu Smith / Noah Fant type of tight end, a reach. We'll see, Bang.
Bang doesn't like it.
He doesn't like anything the Jets ever do, so.
Well, no, I thought he was hammering me about not liking Bailey. He loves the Bailey pick, doesn't he?
Does he? Bang, what are your thoughts on the Jets draft class? I know you'll never call in.
Mixing him up with someone else? I forget. I think it was last week.
Yo Holmes wanted Bailey. He gives
it was Yo Holmes. That's right. It was Yo Holmes. Yeah.
Yeah, Bang typically hates anything the Jets do, so that's how this goes.
Yep.
I mean,
Yo Holmes is still my dude. Don't worry, Yo.
Also, whenever leader of Jets calls back in, I can't wait to play his take from the Wayback Machine when he guaranteed me that Ty Simpson was going to be the second pick in the draft to the Jets.
Ooh.
I think he owes. Remember, he serves. Boomtown sent me the link. I haven't gone back and downloaded it yet. I believe leader of Jets, owes this community 20 gifted memberships, I believe.
Ooh. How about Simpson? Simpson going, what was it, 13, and McVay afterwards? What did you think about that? McVay's disposition, not so sunny.
Weird, but it turns out they met with him privately. McVay was a part of that. So
okay. I haven't kept up with that story.
Now, McVay said that, out of respect to Stafford, he didn't want to be all giddy and excited. I don't know. It didn't pass the smell test, but at the same time, what is McVay not going to coach the guy hard now? He's not going to help him. Ty went to the best possible situation. He doesn't have to play for 2 years.
But it's just wild that, arguably the best head coach in a league was or potentially was overruled by the GM. That's the big story to me in terms of if he really didn't want him or not.
If that's true, yeah.
Yeah, best quarterback coach in the league. How is that possible? If true, we don't know.
If true.
Yeah.
Which you are right. We really don't know.
Yeah, and isn't the GM friends with Simpson's dad or chummy with him?
The GM is very good friends with the dad. I forget the exact connection, but Leslie definitely does know him.
Wild stuff.
Good comment from veteran Jet fan. Next up, McVay went on vacation with Ty.
Drinking margaritas poolside.
Peter Castro writes in, no one could save Glenn's job. That's how bad he is. Well, you got to hope that he's learned, that he's a fast learner. Again, some guys can do it, some guys can't. He had a disastrous first year. The Glenn bootlickers can't defend it. All they could say is, give him more time. Well, he's getting more time. I'm going to root for him because I'm a Jet fan. And if he doesn't turn this around and show real improvement, he's gone, and he should be. And there won't be 10 openings around the league next year, and the Jets will be one of the better jobs. They have 3 1s, the most cap space, and a roster that is not bad. This is not a terrible roster.
He can call a defense. Let's not, I'm not calling him Belichick or Landry. He can call a defense. Again, though, I think it's going to be a blessing in disguise that he's calling plays defensively. I just hope he still has that authoritative voice while being humble enough to learn himself. It becomes very different in terms of when he was calling plays coming off the worst year ever and he lost this power to Muji. Will it become a dual head coach thing with Reich and Glenn? And if it does, I don't like it. It's got to stay firm. It's got to stay firm for him to have a chance.
Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Big fella says, which QBs has McVay developed as a head coach? Jared Goff. Matthew Stafford never played at this high of a level until McVay started coaching him, got the infrastructure in place around him.
Yeah. And Goff was pretty atrocious in Detroit before Ben Johnson was elevated.
And remember, look what McVay did with Baker Mayfield when he briefly had Baker Mayfield and they won that game on that Thursday night, kind of resurrected Baker's career to give him a chance to go to Tampa the next offseason.
Yeah. And let's also remember Stafford's career in LA, a bit different than his career in Detroit. I know the talent wasn't the same, but it would be silly to argue his best years haven't come under McVay, and he gets a gold star for that too.
Yeah. I mean, I'd take McVay in a second. I think Sean McVay, if he was available, he's worth 2 first-round picks. People will say, oh, you can't trade picks for a coach. That is nonsense. Coach, quarterback, the 2 most important positions of a football team.
At least 2. And
Sauce Gardner went for 2 1s. Sean McVay's worth 2 1s.
Yeah, at least 2 and a kidney. But organs.
Offensive coach too, right? That to me is another thing. Obviously you just want a great coach no matter what. Mike McDonald won the Super Bowl, defensive guy, but then you got to keep hiring good OCs because they get poached. Look what happened to Vrabel in Tennessee. Eventually you run out of guys. Offensive genius, they're worth 2 firsts easily.
If I were Woody and McVay, I had a chance at McVay, I would trade 2 firsts and agree to a brain transplant with Bang Mateo and take my shot. That's how Woody is. Yeah.
As Bang Mateo told us what his draft grade was, did he like any of the picks? Did he hate all of them like usual?
he's got to have some favorites, right? Like, if not this draft, previous draft. Like, listen, I don't love the Bailey Sadiq picks, but I love the Cooper pick, love the Pons pick, Clubnick. Geez,
Yeah, let's get into that.
I think it's a worthy shot. I don't, I'm not jumping around for joy. I don't hate it. I know what they did. I wouldn't call it panic, but I think it's a worthy shot. And what I like most are his under pressure metrics, where I don't expect him to turn out to be a great quarterback or anything like that, but I think it's a worthy shot at that spot.
More on Clubnick in a moment. A couple follow-ups here. Bang Mateo says, I liked the Bailey and the Pons pick.
Okay.
1 out of 2. For you, Robby.
Yeah. All right.
Not bad. Let's see. Indy Jets checking in. 2 first and a Jake Asman Show coffee mug. Whatever it takes. I'll give Sean McVay and the Rams my entire merch store if they let him coach the Jets.
Yeah. Shanahan and McVay. Who would you choose first?
Oof. I'd go McVay. He's won a Super Bowl. Been to 2 different quarterbacks. Now, Shanahan's been to the Super Bowl with multiple quarterbacks as well, but he hasn't won. Mm-hmm. And he's had some questionable decisions in these Super Bowls, to be fair. He's obviously great, but
helped out by Steve Wilkes in one of them.
Yeah. Cost Steve Wilkes his job. They put it on him.
Yeah, dude. It's
crazy. As far as Clubnick goes, let's get more into that. I have no problem with selecting Cade Clubnick. The criticism I have, Robby, is that they traded 2 forts to get him. I didn't feel that was necessary. But again, it's a criticism, but it's not a criticism that I'm losing sleep over or docking the Jets a harsh grade or ripping them for it. I just felt it was a little unnecessary. That said, if they felt like there was a team that was going to take them and they just wanted to make sure they got them, all right, you got them, and I'm okay with it. Any of these day 3 quarterbacks they wanted to take a chance on, I understand. If you look at Clubnick's film from 2024, there was a reason why many thought he was going to be a first-round pick. Field Yates had him as his number 3 overall prospect going into the college football season.
Wild.
You had Arch 1, Lenore Sellers 2, Cade 3. So we know things happen, but I believe Cade Clubnick, with just the amount of games he has played, the level of competitions he has faced, his athleticism, some of the things he's done, he is a worthwhile day 3 swing at the quarterback spot. So I don't have a problem with the Jets taking him. And I look forward to hopefully seeing him at some point. It's why I would not add another vet. I'd let Clubnick compete with Zappe for the QB2 spot. Geno starts. He plays as long as he could play. If he's playing well, great. If he gets hurt, let's see what we have in Cade. If the Jets are out of it, let's see what we have in Cade. But there's enough there with Clubnick where even if he's not the long-term answer, which he's probably not, if you maybe have a viable backup that costs you nothing as a day 3 pick, that's a win. So I'm all about Clubnick. We're clubbing with Clubnick. Whatever you want to say, I'm in for it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I echo the sentiment 100%. It's the under pressure metrics, which I really love, and it's the personality. He's just that alpha. He grabs it and goes. Sometimes it could be disastrous at the next level if you jump in too harshly. Sometimes it could work out. So again, it's a fine line, being that alpha and having that mindset, but also making sure everyone knows you're open and willing to tell everyone, hey, I don't know what I don't know. If he has that balance, then yeah, definitely worth a shot for sure.
Do you think that Cade Clubnick will start multiple games for the Jets in 2026?
Dude, you gotta say yes. You have to. Of course. I'll put it over under 2.5. What do you got?
Over.
Okay, me too.
If you said 4.5, I think it'd be interesting.
4.5.
That's where the number should be set.
Probably. I probably sold it short. Yeah, 4.5.
These guys always play. Ironically, we spent so much time after 2023 talking about, well, if Rodgers stays healthy, and Aaron Rodgers started all 17 games, and that's the only year over the last decade that one quarterback started the entire season for the Jets. They didn't need to use another quarterback for a single start. That was the only year. Every other year, we've had 2, 3 quarterbacks play, 4 quarterbacks start every year, besides, ironically, that 2024 year where Rodgers somehow started 17 games and they won 5 games.
It's unbelievable. He came here in large part because of Robert Saleh. He gets hurt. He doesn't play at all the first year. And then Saleh gets fired 3 games into the season or whatever it was, and doesn't have Saleh the second year, and he plays every game. It's fucking ridiculous.
You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up.
I'm delirious today, folks. I apologize.
David writes in, get this Debbie Downer off the air.
I'm still waiting to go to the hole. Someone's got to make it happen. Like, I would do it myself if I could.
Does anyone want to send Robby Sabo to the hole?
Now, send me the hole, but maintain that same energy in November when we get an idea for how these prospects are working out. That's all I ask.
There was a great question from Jake Quest. I asked it to you earlier. Jake, is there video of Robby seeing the Bailey pick? There's not, but there is video of Robby's arch nemesis seeing the David Bailey pick. We head live to the U Stadium draft party where Frankie V is standing by.
The New York Jets select David.
Yeah! Yes! 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 That's my guy. That's why they pay Muji the big bucks. That's the damn pick. Sorry, I'm going. That's the freaking big baby. Finally, the Jets are back. The Jets are back.
Kerry Rhodes.
The Jets are back.
I thought the Jets were back when they booted Rodgers for Fields last year, too. I heard that.
Are the Jets back?
They ain't back until they prove it.
They seem back to me.
Back. Prove it on the field, friends. Prove it on the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of things that are back, a trip to the hole is back. Joe Lopez, $50 bounty, and he writes in, you asked for it. Robby Sabo, see you later. Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it. How's the hole, Sabo?
B-Mac was here? That's so good.
Ladies and gentlemen, your trip in the hole, Robby, is not for long. Frank P has just posted your bail, $50 bail. You are a free man. Robby Sabo has been released from the hole, courtesy of Frank P. Did you have any doubt? Oh, my goodness gracious, Frank P. How does it feel to be a free man?
You know, hey, I was going to go to the Raquel Welch poster direction, but I have a hero. And Jake, 10% commission in the mail, please.
Lunch is on me.
Yeah. I love you guys. I love all you guys. I do.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Frank, Cisco, you guys are the best. And Cisco, you'll be getting a surprise package in the mail in a couple of days, maybe early next week. Really appreciate all your recent support of the channel, my man. So thank you again for that. We are giving away a signed Darrelle Revis helmet on our show today. So that is awesome. And wow. Frank P. Robby, he's changed his mind. Nah. Never mind. Robby Sabo back to the hole. Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it. How's the hole?
Smelly, because B-Mac was here.
Oh, he was in there, all right.
Frank P., I don't know what I did, my man, but still, you reach legend status for changing your mind for no reason at all. It's not bad.
He wanted to hear you whine some more, and then he said, nah, never mind.
Come on, who's gonna save me?
I don't know if anyone's going to save you. I think this is it.
Ah, shit. Raquel Welch. My friend Morgan Freeman is a couple cell blocks down. Don't you worry. I'll see you guys again.
Neil writes in, why do people criticize the draft? There are no GMs on this chat or any other. Same goes for these guests. Yeah, Robbie, why do you criticize the draft?
I don't know.
I love when people say that. And, I'm not targeting you. We all give opinions. Robbie watches film. He coaches football. He has an educated opinion. And if the Jets were so good at this, why would they have the longest playoff drought in sports? It's okay to be you're allowed to question things about the team you root for. At the end of the day, do we know for sure? But no, but it's a talk show. We all give opinions.
Well, there's one thing in making blanket statements once the draft happens. It's another thing if you've been talking about it for months on end and watching film. And also, I'm going pick by pick. I love the Cooper. See, it's not just enough to grade it round by round. Say you love the Cooper pick, love the Durrell, the interior defensive lineman pick, Jackson, Pons, love the Pons pick, but dislike the first two picks. You got to love every single one. And if you don't have the pom-poms out, you're getting sent to the hole, I guess. I don't know. It's all good. I get it. Just listen, like I said, don't let me bring you down. I said the same thing with the 33rd team and the hiring of Glenn and Rogers Fields. Rogers was the bad man. Same thing here. Don't let me get you down. Keep it up. Keep up the positive energy.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Well, Robbie, you're in the hole, but there's a guy that is not happy with you that is on the line that I want you to hear from. He wrote in earlier to give you some perspective here. Sabo, I've never heard you so butthurt the Jets didn't pick your guy. I'll bet you $100 Bailey has more sacks than Reese this year. Giants wide receiver neighbor said, good player. Where's he going to play?
We're taking NFL draft advice from Malik Neighbors, and then we're going to make a bet about sacks. No. That's not how football works. Yeah, sacks is just one of many different things.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the history of the show, there's about to be an Asmaniac Rumble from the hole.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Sabo in the hole.
Hold on, who is this? I clicked off. Yo, my brother, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Who knocked you off? Who knocked you off this year? What's going on?
Gary, baby. The wrath of Gary.
Ugh.
This is
life ain't fair.
Listen, Gary deserved the win. He beat me. Fair and square. There's no rules in this game. So
you're taking the high road.
Yeah, I'm not butthurt, Sabo.
Dude, I'm not butthurt either. It's just literally every single thing I advocate for, they do the opposite. I don't know how many times I go down the list. Like, don't hire the 33rd team. Hire a different coach. The Rodgers for field swap was silly.
Yeah.
What could I tell you?
No, I just mean like, you have to admit you are discounting Bailey's skill sets a little bit. For you to say that he's going to be a situational pass rusher that comes in on third down.
No, I didn't say that. I said that's how I view him right now as an evaluation. I'm not saying that's what he's going to be.
Well, I will bet you whatever you want that he will not be a situational pass rusher and he will be playing.
I don't think so either. They have to play him more than that.
He's not Will McDonald though. Will McDonald is like a 215, 220 if he wasn't trying to gain weight. Like, Bailey's a big dude. If he could just, what's easier to learn how to, if you're a big guy, you're not a small guy. He's a six, he's a big guy.
what's easier to do? Learn how to pass rush or learn how to set the edge and stop the run?
Well, it's not just learning how to set the edge. He's going to have to play in structure. In what he did in Texas Tech in college is going to be far different than the NFL. He can't freelance. He can't elude, go around the block every time. So yeah, Dunbar's he's gonna do his thing. I think he's gonna get better. What he's great at is that first step with hands, the quickness to go around. But I just don't think you take a guy at 2 who only shows that on tape while freelancing within the college defense.
I just think.
By the way, I think he could pile up the sacks and the pressures. Absolutely, he can.
Now let me ask you this: if we didn't get spoiled by the wide 9 defense and Saleh actually finding us some pass rushers like Bryce Huff and Jermaine Johnson and actually getting sacks and pressures, we went on a historic run of not being able to find anybody who could rush the passer. John Abraham was our best pass rusher, and then we had to deal with like Wilkerson and Calvin Pace leading our team in sacks and just like miss and never had that guy. So it's like I just feel like we've been clamoring for like a real legit problem if you get him to 3rd and 8. And with the defensive things that we've done this year, I feel like we've got a lot of guys to stop the run. We got a lot of meat up front with Sweat and now Jackson with Phillips and Briggs. Like we're going to have guys to stop the run. So I just, Arvell, where would Arvell have played in our defense to start off? He would have to be an off-ball linebacker like John Harbaugh said he's going to be. He's going to be.
No. John
Where's
Harbaugh's
he going to play with the Giants? Where do you think he's going to start?
Everywhere. He's going to play off ball. He's going to play edge. They'll probably trade Thibodeau. You don't worry about where exactly. Why people look at that as a negative, I'll never understand, because it's a positive to have multiple guys who could play different spots. That is the dream, man. That's the dream in today's league. It's again, it comes down to the evaluation of both players, and I see one as far better. He does so much more.
I guess,
and would be more ready on day 1 too. I firmly believe.
Well, I just feel they have a vision for Bailey. They drafted him for a reason. And Arvell, in our luck, drafting for potential is scary to me, especially at 2. And if Bailey gets us 12 sacks, are we going to be really upset if he gets us 12 to 5? I mean, that's.
But if I'm right that Bailey freelanced a lot in the Big 12 and didn't have to do much in structure, isn't that crazy projection to act as if he's going to be able to do that in the NFL?
Did someone bail him?
Oh, somebody bailed him. Sam Aiken has posted the bail for Robby Sabo. He says John Abraham was a linebacker. Willie McGinnis was a linebacker first. Let Mr. Sabo speak. Time will tell. Sam Aiken has freed Robby Sabo. Let's go.
Besides the Bailey Sabo, the Bailey Arvell thing, I still put out there that with the Clubnick pick, right?
Mm-hmm. Also, Bonesy, you're the worst Rumble opponent, says Neil.
Hey man,
all right,
Bonesy's my dude. Bonesy's my dude.
With the Clubnick pick, we're forgetting that. What if Jackson was a guy that we really wanted? We wanted to like get him. So like everyone's like, oh, we should just pick Clubnick at 103. Once we pick Jackson, San Francisco and Arizona both picked D tackles. So like, how do we know that like we wanted, like they didn't want Jackson, so they wouldn't have just drafted him, and we really wanted Jackson. And as Moochie said, we've been scouting Clubnick since last year. Like he's been a guy that's on our radar. And for me, as a Jet fan, looks for things to attack, like latch onto. Us going after a guy, and we wanted a guy, and we went up and got him. I like that, man. I like that they targeted a guy and they went up and traded and got him. That excites me because that means they like it. Wasn't like a panic pick. They wanted this guy.
Cooper
and the Colts were the only other team, in my opinion, that was probably looking at another quarterback, and they were at 113, and we traded up into 110. So maybe we were trying to get in front of the Colts just in case, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I like the Clubnick pick. I love the Cooper pick. Love trading up. Not waiting. And I would have loved to have the 33 pick going into day 2, because I think you could really clean up in that situation.
Phil D'Angelo writes in, put Sabo back in the clink. Robby Sabo, any final words as you go back to the hole?
I am.
It doesn't matter. Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it. You're back in the hole, Robby.
All right.
Some say this is where you belong.
Yeah, mail me some pom-poms.
Others are defending you.
See, mail me some pom-poms. I'll be a fan. Everything's great. Good.
The atomic clock says the Fields truthers are angry.
What do you want me to do? Everything's good. Everything's great.
What are your thoughts on the fact that your quote-unquote negativity has sparked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 $50 bounties and bails?
I think I'm your favorite person right now. Is what I think. I think
I'll tell you what.
Valuable assets, my friend.
You just covered an extra an extra beer at the Knicks game later. For me.
But honestly, like, how long have I been on the show for? Like, I keep on bringing up my history. No one is refuting it. Why? Like, come on, guys. Expand your minds. Put the pom-poms down. Just think a little more deeply about this stuff.
Jquest says, who knew Tanky V would have won the draft?
No, you win and lose when you see the guy play. Let's keep the same energy in November, December, and then in 2027, and then 2028. That's the game. That's how you evaluate and do that stuff.
Beastbreaker says, use your head, Robby, not your arse.
That was good.
Great advice from Beast.
Yeah.
He'll teach you a lesson. You want to talk to Beast? He'll give you some counseling. I know Beast has been in the hole before. He's survived.
What do you got? What do you got, Beast?
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring on a man that we call...
I'm on the same boat with you, kid, except I got back pain right now. Cold weather it'll hit you right now, it'll hit you right in the gullios, but that arse, that means ass in Scottish. Don't you have a Scottish term there, mate?
I need an Italian roommate to eat like Goodfellas. When they spent time in the clink,
Oh, come on, lad. You can do better. You can do better. Come on. You can do better than that. Come on, you can do better than this. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and then get your head out of your ass and listen. Then don't worry about it, kid. Just be yourself.
Thanks, Beast.
So what are you doing today, kid? What do you got planned for the day? Since you're in there.
Living life, working. Doing stuff for the site. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just got my Wank and Bet jersey a couple of days ago via FedEx.
Nice. No Porch Pirates this time?
I was prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. From now on.
Did you set up booby traps like Home Alone?
Not yet. Not yet, but I'm planning on getting one of them little doorbell thingies with the camera on it.
Ring. Yes, a ring. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a way you could catch them too. That's why we got these.
Bear trap, dude. Invest in a bear trap. And
Are you crazy? I'd rather get that thing for the get the thing on the door, have a nice little thing there, and if I catch anybody, I'm like, what do you think you're doing there, son?
Buy a couple super soakers. Buy a couple super soakers, the old school ones. Get a bear trap. Put some leaves over it, and when you catch the next one,
what a surprise in one of these.
What is that?
Come on, you don't know what this recognizes. This is from Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Doink.
Yep. Couldn't recognize it out of context.
Come on, you should know the Mario Brothers from now.
Dude, there's no Nintendo. There's no Nintendo in the hole, Beast.
Hey, if you want one of these, you got to go online and get one of these. Okay, kid. Now don't.
Yeah! Yes! That's my guy. That's why they pay Muji the big bucks. That's the damn pig. Sorry, that's the freaking pig, baby! Finally, the Jets are back. The Jets are back.
Kerry Rose.
The Jets are back.
They say the hole is where you have to just watch that video on replay and talk to Beastbreaker as your punishment, Robbie. Your thoughts?
Yeah, objective evaluation comes to mind.
Super chat for the big fella. How crazy is it that Robbie's in the hole and Beast isn't? We've come a long way. Now,
it's what happens during hopeful season, and then once August and September comes rolling around and November comes, they'll be your favorite again.
Thunderlip says it sounds like Sabo wants Bailey to fail.
No, I want Bailey to do great. It's
better for business.
Oh my God. I hope he's the defensive rookie of the year. I hope he's a Hall of Famer. But when you're in this business, you call balls and strikes. You give your opinion. You don't, again, you could love the guys who take the pom-poms out, but that's not me. And to hell if I'm going to be someone I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to temporarily remove Robbie from the hall. And I'll tell you guys why. Because Robbie did a great thing for 3 members of this community. He sent a signed Wayne Corbett photo to Beastbreaker and to both Midnight Brothers.
Did they get it? Did they get it? Good.
Not only did they get it, but both of them are here on the line to thank you for your gesture. Ladies and gentlemen, the Midnight Bros.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not going to touch anything, I promise.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I just want to thank you very much for Wayne Quebec, our buddy. Hey, Rob Sabo, don't forget those guys who put you in prison. You should be in prison, too. They're not real Jet fans. They're fake Jet fans.
They were very mean to me, Mikey.
He put him in the hole, too. I think he's a dumbass. For putting him in the hole.
Bobby, Rob Surfers should not got in the hole.
Bobby, who should be in the hole? I can't hear you.
People in the hole. The people who put Rob in the hole. They should be.
The people who put Robbie in the hole should be in the hole. Yes.
Yeah. Mikey, I'm so glad to hear your voice, buddy. You too, Bobby.
Yeah, guess what? The Jets go be 14-3.
Up D'Angelo should be in the hole.
Yeah, the Jets go be 14-3.
14-3, Michael.
All right.
Yeah, the Jets go be 14-3. AFC champions. You know what they say? Aaron Glenn would say? You know what Aaron Glenn is cooking. Yeah, you know what Aaron Glenn is cooking.
What, Bobby? I got to talk to your pal on 2 o'clock. I got to talk to the person that you're going to do a show at 2 o'clock with.
Oh, you called BT? You and Mets fan 2128 are his regulars.
Oh, really? And Mikey, I love the fireman.
PT. Yeah. Oh, PT. Yeah. Hey, here's my prediction. Rob Sabo will be the best guy too. He will overcome all the negative Jet fans. Negative Jet fans, go away. Yeah. Go away. Don't come in again.
You guys are the best.
I like Jake Asman's show. Jake Asman would say, Mikey is right, you wrong. Yeah.
Mikey,
hey, Jake,
you're
the
the
Knicks
man.
go win the championship. The Knicks go win the championship.
They got to win tonight
the Knicks
first,
go
Mikey.
win the championship. They go walk.
Yeah, we gotta win tonight.
Offense goes through towns, my friend.
Yeah, 97. Yeah, 97 to 68.
David Bailey will be there to cheer them on, sitting courtside.
Is he? Is he really?
All right.
going?
Oh, he'll be there.
Nice.
Yeah, 90.
Jake will be there too tonight, right, Jake?
Oh, yeah, I
going
will.
tonight.
Hey, Mikey, I'm glad that you got your gift. Bobby, you as well. I got to let Robbie run, so this is the best way to play you both out. Robbie, you're back in the hole.
I'm back.
Your
baby.
time is done. Excellent job out of you today.
All right. Hey, we'll see you guys next week. And I love you all. I love you all.
Even the ones who put you in the hole?
Oh, come on. I loved it. It was my idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robby Sabo. Now a quick break for today's sponsor.
Are you tired of grilling outdoors? Are you tired of having to go to the kitchen to cook? Thanks to Beast's Ultimate Taste Tool, my troubles are over. Sure, it's a little smoky, but who cares? Look, I even got a bucket to shit in so I never have to leave my room. Now you're cooking with butt.
This portion of the Jake Asman Show is brought to you by Cheers. If you enjoy a few drinks while watching the game or going out with friends, you know how rough the next morning can be. That's where Cheers comes in. Cheers is a pill you take after drinking that helps your body handle alcohol better so you don't feel as sluggish the next day. It's simple. No powders, no mixing, just an easy supplement you could keep on you for a night out. Here's how it works. After you're done drinking for the night, you take the recommended number of Cheers capsules with water before you go to bed. That's it. It works while you sleep, so you can wake up feeling a lot better than you normally would. I've used it, and you could feel the difference. You wake up clearer, more functional, and ready to go instead of dragging through the day. If you want to enjoy your nights out without paying for it the next morning, give Cheers a shot. Go to cheershealth.com and use the promo code ASMAN for a 20% discount. That's cheershealth.com, promo code ASMAN, and take advantage of the deal. Shout out to Cheers for sponsoring our show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to more of your calls now, shall we? A lot of you are fired up today. A lot of you want to weigh in on the conversation at hand. Let's head back to the Gusbuster hotline. Tristan is next. Hello, Tristan.
Hey, Jake. Hopefully I get just a little bit of time today. I would have loved to talk to Robbie because Robbie has a lot of sense, unlike a lot of people in this chat. But I wanted to holler at you. I know that we were having a conversation like right after when you were getting kicked out of the NFL thing, and we were getting upset back and forth about the David Bailey pick. But my thing is, how many wins did the Browns have when Garrett broke the sack record?
Well, but it goes to show you, like, so much of it is quarterback. Like, how many great Super Bowl? When was the last time a team won a Super Bowl with like a top 5 pass rusher in the sport? You know.
You said without, I think Dilfer, right? This is a long time ago, right?
No, I'm saying I'm not talking about quarterback. I'm saying like, how many Super Bowls does Myles Garrett have, or TJ Watt, or insert whoever you think the best defensive rusher is. That doesn't necessarily translate to winning championships. It could be a difference maker if you have the quarterback. And like Chris Jones is amazing. He's not winning a Super Bowl or multiple without Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid,
I understand that. But my thing is, the reason why I agree with Sabo about him being and he can't be a situational rusher is because if the Jets gave up about 4.5 yards per carry last year. That's really, really bad. And if you're not going to pick a player that could possibly diagnose plays and solve that situation and give you tackles for loss on the running back, or tackles out in space that got pushed to the flats. I'm not advocating for Bane, and I know that's what you thought I was gonna do. I thought Reese was gonna be the smarter pick for that situation because even though he may not be that book smart, he knows ball and that he could get into the backfield and cause havoc. Not necessarily when we're in 3rd and 8, when we're not ever in 3rd and 8. So that's my problem. We're not gonna be in situations, until we prove it, because I know we've added some meat up front. We're not gonna be in situations for Bailey to be effective because that was the dialogue me and you were having. When will Bailey be effective? And you said when he sacks Cam Ward on week 1. Then I said, Cam Ward's one of the hardest people to sack, but
Well,
if
that
he
was tongue
does
in cheek.
if he does sack Cam Ward, will it be on an effective down or where it makes sense? And is he going to get gas for 10 and 15 yard
But
runs?
how do you know Arvell Reese would have an impact? Like, we can't judge it based on one. Let's judge it over the course of their rookie seasons, and they're going to be playing different positions. It sounds like the Giants are going to use Reese more as an inside linebacker than the Jets would have. Like the Jets, I think it'd be a hybrid role. I think with the Giants, they have a loaded D-line room. So it was simply just best player available, too good to pass up. They already had Kayvon Thibodeau, who they didn't trade. And obviously they took Abdul Carter last year, Brian Burns, right? They already had elite edge rushers. So now they added to a strength and they'll play Reese as probably more of an inside linebacker. So it's not an exact comparison. I would have taken Reese, but I think you're not giving Bailey enough credit for how dynamic of a pass rusher he already is. And I think he could be coached up to be better against the run.
I think he could be great, but when you have people that could actually set the edge.
But they improved their run defense with the moves they made in free agency, did they not? They made the trade for Sweat. They're switching to a 3-4. Aaron Glenn's superpower is play calling. So let's see, now that he has his scheme implemented, the guys he wants for his scheme, right? They signed Kingsley Anabari. They signed David Onyemata. They brought back a veteran in Demario Davis who's going to get everyone in the right spot. Sherwood now could play off ball, doesn't have to be the captain out there with the green dot in his helmet. Like, again, I'm not trying to tell you this defense is going to be great, but I don't think, they had to take Reese because he's the only one that could set the edge. I think their moves leading up to the draft allow them to be better against the run. I don't think Reese would just – they didn't make the other moves. I don't think Reese or Bailey is fixing that,
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say it. Who I thought the best edge setter was in the draft. But he won 15 overall.
But look, he fell for a reason, right? He'd be a huge outlier if you took him that high, and other teams felt the same way the Jets did. He fell at 15. It's not like he went 3 or 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just going to run through the draft really quickly. I know normally I don't take up a lot of time. I disagree with Sabo about Sadiq being a situational player. I believe that he's the ultimate X factor with having him on the field along with Mason Taylor. Being able to do a lot of motion, take him out wide. He could line up at the X and the Y if you really wanted him to. So that's where I disagree. The 2 Indiana players, I'm very happy. It hurts my feelings as a Hurricanes fan, but that's okay. Clubnick. The reason why I agree with the pick is not I hate, I'm an ACC fan. I don't like the Clemson Tigers, but Dabo Sweeney really handicapped Cade Clubnick by saying, I'm not going to be a portal guy. While you have all these other players that are going out and getting absolute dogs to support him, you see what not going into the portal when you've been an absolute powerhouse before NIL did for you. And also you're seeing the teams that excel, Miami and Indiana, and you're seeing the teams that have been historically good dive into the tank. Clemson, he didn't have the supporting cast. I'm more than happy seeing Clubnick come in. Jackson, good player, but what we don't realize is that Inez Cooper worked Jackson for the past 2 years, and that's the pick that I'm more excited about. I feel like he could actually be a starter on the Jets, and I'm not too familiar with the safety from Kansas. That's my take on the draft. I might have missed somebody, but that's my full breakdown basically. The 2 Indiana kids are starters immediately, by the way, so I really like that.
I don't know which one just yet. I lean Cooper, but I think Pons and Cooper will be fan favorites.
Yeah. And I think Inez Cooper will also be a fan favorite. He will be replacing he will be replacing Vera Tucker with attitude this year. I honestly believe that he will be a starter on this offensive line. 100%.
Look, I mean, he was a 6th-round pick, so that'd be a huge win if he becomes a starter.
I
and is
100.
good.
His attitude is so insane, and
You just love Miami guys. You're like, man, we couldn't get Ruben Bain. At least we got this guy from Miami.
No. I like literally I've watched him play every single game, right? So, like, there's other Miami players that I would have been like, oh, let's get excited, let's have them play. Like, I feel like Keontae Scott could have been just as effective as Pons if you got him in the later rounds, right? So, but he got hurt. He could have won the Jim Thorpe Award, but I'm not gonna argue Scott over Pons. Pons is the better, more complete player. I'm not gonna be Miami fan. I'm just telling you, Inez Cooper has the ability and the size, and he's been coached up to be able to take over a starting role on this team.
Ladies and gentlemen, an excellent call from Tristan. Tristan, how many pounds you down now?
87.
Man, you look great, dude. Keep going, dude.
I appreciate that. Well, we got to do a before and after pic from when I was about 400 pounds.
Send me the picture we took at that game when I met you. What was it? The Charger game, if I remember, Monday night?
The Charger game. I'll go find it, and hopefully one of these times I'll be able to get back up there, and I'll be like 120 down or something like that.
Where do you live again? Are you in Philly? Where are you living?
No, I traveled in from Philly because I was at my friend's wedding, but I live in Utah now. I live across the street from Zach Wilson. So I do marketing.
Send them our best. The Jet fans, I'm sure, send regards.
Yeah, I do marketing. So there was a company out here that wanted me to be full-time. And then I travel for my other clients like KFC, Jack Daniels, and like Meta and stuff like that. If we have to shoot a commercial, we just go there. So that's why it really doesn't matter where I lived at.
Well, I love it. Well, if any of those brands you work with want to sponsor the Asmaniac community here, you put them in touch with me, all right?
Yes, sir. I mean, I'll keep on doing I'll get some super chats together so that an indirect sponsorship. Got you.
Love it, Tristan. You're the man. Great call.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Programming note, 2 p.m. today, the Jet Collective is back and better than ever. Join me, Rich Samini, Brandon Tierney, as we talk all things Jets, all things 2026 Jets draft. Could be a lot of fun. That's coming up at 2 today. Super chats will be answered during the show. Any questions or comments, write it in and I'll make sure that I read it to BT and to Rich. Michael Greco in the raffle for one. Earlier, Michael had a super chat where we needed to play the Calm Your Freaky Down. But guess what? This time, he just gifted a membership. He wanted to know who the blonde in the front of the Jet chant at the draft show was. Wow. Well, since you did give us a gifted membership, we'll play it again.
Let's go.
Neil writes in, favorite guests, 1, Joe B, 2, Jeff Parles. That's it for me. Add names you guys like to hear from as guests. Well, Neil, I got some good news for you. Joining me Friday morning to break down the Jets draft is the one, the only, Joe Beningo.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
We will have Joe B on Friday. We'll have Jeff on soon as well. Just working out of time for Jeff. This afternoon, we will have the great Joe Blewett on the program. Reminder, this show is available as a podcast, Apple or Spotify. You could search on either platform and find the show there. So check it out. Also, I want to plug the Patreon because there's just a few days left in the month of April. We update the names for the intro, the countdown ticker that plays. We update that at the beginning of each month. So if you want to support the show, especially now that things are going to slow down, now more than ever, we would love to get you on the Patreon. If you are looking to keep up with the Jets and the Asmaniac community, the best perk of the Patreon is you get access to our private Discord. That discounts in the merch store year-round. Find out about events before anyone, including this big event we're planning for July 11th. So stay tuned for that. The link's in the description for that. And the Patreon link is now in the live chat for those who are tuned in live. This one is from M123. He cuts the line. 2024 Jets, 20th in defense, 24th in offense. Rodgers' stats probably better than what Geno can do. Is it coaching? Also, size chart. Gary is closer to a medium than large. Well, I'll tell you what, M123. I can't speak to Gary's size and what t-shirt he wears. But as far as your first point, the defense sucked in 2024. I don't even think they actually were 20th. Like if you watched it, right? How many times did the 2024 Jets have the lead late? The offense actually gave them the lead, and then the defense choked it away. They were awful defensively. They blew so many games. Obviously, the kicking situation led to them losing several games as well, but the defense collapsed multiple times. And then this past year, they didn't play any defense. But in 2024, they'd have the lead late in games and blow it. They blew the lead 7 times in the fourth quarter. They led the NFL in that. They were that was the team that blew more leads than any team in franchise history in the fourth quarter. Rodgers' stats, some of it was sure a little bit inflated. They threw a lot. There was some garbage time in there. But 28 touchdowns is still 28 touchdowns. I don't know if Geno's going to do that. Do I think Geno Smith could throw 25 touchdowns, though, or come pretty close to that? I do. The biggest thing for Geno to put up numbers is twofold. One, he's got to stay healthy. Duh. And two, the Jets have to be playing meaningful games because if they're out of it at the end of the year, they're going to play Cade Clubnick. He's going to see the field. They'll shut Geno down and go into evaluation mode, which is a soft tank. But if Clubnick plays well, they'll live with the result. That's what happens. That's what teams do. You know what I mean? Like Geno Smith, if he's healthy, that's the first step. And he's been pretty much healthy for most of his career. You know, obviously, one of the injuries that cost him to miss time was the infamous IK Emetapali knockout punch. But Geno's been durable in his career. I mean, last year he played 15 of 17 games. In Seattle, he started all 17 games in 22, 15 of 17 and 23, all 17 and 24, and he started 15 of 17 this past year. This guy plays when he's been out there. He started every game as a rookie with the Jets. 2014, he started 13 of 16 games that year. Remember, that was the year Mike Vick played a couple games. Ugh. Geno forgot about time zones and was late for a meeting, and that was the excuse. So stat-wise, I mean, look, I think Geno Smith is capable of probably throwing anywhere from 20 to 25 touchdowns conservatively. He's got to cut back on the interceptions. I'll take less touchdowns from Geno if it's less interceptions. Like if you told me, would you rather Geno throw 28 touchdowns, but he's going to have 15 picks, or 20 touchdowns and he's going to have 8 picks? I'll take that. Because I do think this team should be able to run the football with Brees. They have a good offensive line. And you're going to have to respect the passing attack more when you add Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper Jr. And you got a full year of A.D. Mitchell, another year of growth from Mason Taylor. They're not bereft of talent here. Do they have the coaching that could maximize some of these players? I have my doubts, but they get a chance to prove themselves. Curly says, Joby has seen it all. His teams win a title. He's spoiled. Nice troll job there. Joe's podcast that he put out yesterday of him just going to town on David Stern, so funny. And he's right about everything he said. All the Met fans who dared to rip Joe B, he's right about everything he said about David Stearns and Steve Cohen. Everything. Where are those people now? If they fire Mendoza, Stearns should go right with him. As I said on the radio last night during my rant. My God. Who's ready for Asmaniac Madness this afternoon? The big fella and Chef Kev. Head to head. Mano to mano. It's all on the line, folks.
All right, Asmaniacs, we're here at the Cloverleaf Tavern. We've got Chef. We've got the big fella getting ready for the big matchup this Tuesday. Gentlemen, to us fair and face the camera for us. All right. Now the face-off. It's getting real. Oh my gosh! No! Wait till Tuesday, guys. Whoa! All right. Without further ado, it'll be this Tuesday. Chef and the big fella. I'm for you, big fella. Yeah.
It's going down this afternoon. the 7th seed Chef Kevin on a miracle run to the Final Four. Does he have another upset coming against the big fella? It's all happening. Are you hyped? Are you ready? I know Chef Kevin's ready.
Fella, I'm ready for you. You know I want the energy. I want the smoke. I'm cooking all the time. I'm the people's champ. I'm the one that's ready to take down either Gorman or Gary. I got my squad behind me. People's champ.
It's coming, folks. It's coming. Get ready. But look, big fella is no slouch. All right. He is revered in this community. He's not just a big fella. He's also the Beast Whisperer. I'm going to need you to explain this incoherent slop of an email I received.
That right there tells it all.
What's this beef that you and Gator have?
Can I talk to him, please? I've had enough of this. You lost in the tournament. I don't need to hear about it, that you got screwed. You didn't get screwed. You lost. Okay? You need to accept that. You told me in a message that you've been lashing out because you have anger issues. Okay? And you identified that. That's the first step in fixing it. And if you know you're getting angry, you step away from it. Now, the whole thing with Gator has been there for you from the beginning. You know, when Bobby Beasley was on your ass, he was there for you. We all have been, and we all take time out of our lives to be there for you. But you need to take responsibility. You hear me? Enough of this shit. Gator has done more for you than most would. Who's the first person you run to when someone says something bad or, you know, offends you in a way? It's Gator. And then you're going to talk shit about, like, oh, Gator played his cards wrong. Bullshit. Gator is the one who's been here for you the whole fucking time, bro. Enough is enough. You understand that? We all care about you. We all take time out of our lives for you. Enough of the complaining, enough of the bullshit. Be a man and move on. A real man would confront Bobby Beasley, bro. He wouldn't run to Gator. You need to do it. Be a man and do it. And stop bitching about losing in a tournament to Leany. Okay? You lost. So what? It's a fun tournament. It's supposed to be. No one takes it serious. Don't give me this pouting bullshit. Do you got it? Yes or no? All right. Jake, that's all I got.
Maybe. This is the end.
Beast, is it fair to say you'll be voting for your therapist? Hey.
I was checking my signal on the phone. I just got this new pair of headset today because someone ate mine on my accident.
Are you voting for your therapist?
What's next? I don't know. Maybe.
Are you going to vote for the big fella and put your ring light on?
Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
Are you going to vote for big fella?
Been there. I already got it taken care of.
Say yes.
Does this?
Answer the question. Are you going to vote for the big fella? We can't even see your ass because your ring light's not on.
Yeah, I got a nice sexy ass, and I don't do tricks with it. I don't do no tricks with my stuff. I might got
your ring light on.
Hold your horses, buff the stuff.
Are you going to vote for the big fella?
You already know, Buff Daddy. You already know. You already know I'm voting for the man. The man put me on the right mission. I'm gonna conquer my mission and destroy the opposition.
Why can't you just say yes? Big fella's meant a lot to me.
Come on, you should know this by now. Buff the stuff. I'm just remember these words. I'm Buff. I'm the stuff, and nobody can't touch me. I gotta make some phone calls.
Gator says ring light, hairless doughboy.
Hey, just because I shave off my body here and I shave my pits, at least I got the testicles to do it. I don't need to look like some freak, look like some weirdo Godzilla looking going. That ain't Godzilla.
Hey, do that without a shirt on.
Yeah. And I got the sexiest body in the whole goddamn in the whole effing world.
Yeah, but doing standing up, we can't even see your body right now.
Yeah. Look at that vein right there. Look at those veins. Something nobody has, not the nuts enough to have, because they don't got the testicles to do it. I might be the next big bad booty daddy. Remember, Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holla, if you hear me. Holla, player.
Do you think you could do the Aaron Glenn dance better than Mad Max?
I don't do crazy shit like that. I ain't no hater. Haters want to hate, that's fine. But me, I'm P-I-M-P.
So you take your shirt off in your attic and dance and do a gorilla signal, but doing an Aaron Glenn dance is where you draw the line?
I'd rather do Disco Inferno from WCW and still get a kick out of it, you know, Disco Fever. Disco Fever. You can't do Disco Fever. Come on, Disco Fever, man. You ain't got disco. You ain't got disco.
A veteran Jet fan says you need a breast reduction.
Yeah, he needs to go seek help. Or how about the DDT? You remember what the DDT stands for? 911. Courtesy of the fabulous Freebirds.
Hey,
Now,
Beast.
what's your excuse?
Beast, I'm going to gift a membership to the community. I'm going to give it to you because you brought it today with your call. All right, we've only had 2 gifted memberships the whole show, so I'm going to put you in the raffle for the Revis helmet. All right.
Now this ass is not a TV. Let's just get correct. This is not a TV. My ass is not TV material. Maybe in flat screens, yes, but not no TV. I have my TV is a big boy TV. See, everybody thinks, get yourself a nice flat screen. No, thank you. I don't need a flat screen. You know why? Flat screens are for soy boys. No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Limitless NYC, you received a membership from yours truly, but it's going to Beast because look at that sexy man on the screen, folks. Greek god body right there, says Gator. Mr. Boji says there isn't one person in this chat who wouldn't kill for Beast's confidence. That's a real man right there.
Yeah, you know who else used to do this too? The great Al Bundy.
Yankees Rock says he's losing his appetite right now, Beast.
Grow some balls. Hit the weights, pussy. Hit the weights. If you could try.
Big fella says put Beast in the raffle. Hey, big fella just put you in for 4 entries. You gonna say thank you or just avoid it altogether?
Hey, as long as he's a part of the big bad booty daddy. Hey, remember, come aboard this ship. Hey, big fella.
Hey, I muted your mic and won't put it back on unless you say thank you, big fella, for spending $20 for me.
Now,
say thank you, big fella.
Now, big fella, thank you very much. Now let's try some exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it feels good. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Now this is a sexy man pose. Nobody can't defeat that power of pain. That is a god right here. And I am a Greek.
Quick programming note. Beast is the only one on hold, which is why I'm totally fine just letting him do his thing. Because I'm going to end the show shortly here because I'm doing 3 shows today after I did 3 shows yesterday. The work never stops. The climate just changes. Now back to Beast doing God knows what in his attic. Chef Kevin says, put little Joey in the raffle. I saved little Joey's life.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Yeah, I heard that crappy voice. Was I you know what I can do to little masks? All I gotta do is this.
You think you could crush Mad Max?
Easy. If the Olympics would ever do Olympic dwarf tossing, he'd be the perfect dwarf, and I could just do a little bench press. Big bad booty daddy. He knows what time it is. See, let's get one thing straight. I'm a freak. I got my freaks, and I got my peaks. So if you can't stand that, you ain't got it. Big Papa Pump is your hood. Holla if you hear me.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're running a new poll. The poll question is officially live. And here's the question. Should I end the show or keep the camera on Beast instead?
Little mountain of God. The real mountain of gods have spoken. I might not look like Jesus, but I look like a man with a powerful weapon.
Your tits?
No, Max, you're too easy. You're nothing but.
Spencer Green says, Beast, my python needs a meal. Joey has tribute.
Go steal your mama's credit card, girlfriend. You're a thief anyway. You're nothing but a thief.
C Natty is in the Asmaniac raffle for one. Thank you, C Natty.
Good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a man on the line that is called in to challenge Beast 1v1.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
Honestly, Beastbreaker, are you going to that event in South Jersey?
What'd you say, Greasehead?
Are you going to the event in South Jersey that Jake Asman's going to host? Like, come on.
I got a lot of things on my mind. My first intent is to throw you in the Olympics as Olympic dwarf tossing. You know, I can just do this all day, but squat, 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 squat. Just picking you up and squatting you, and then after that, maybe after 10 reps, you know what we can do? Ha! Into the fifth row. Yeah, you know, you'll be in the fifth row with the popcorn vendors selling popcorn, going, hey, popcorn, peanuts, popcorn, Vindicate soda pops. Yeah, you'll be doing that because you don't have it. You're not the big, bad booty daddy. Because I am Big Papa Pump. And remember, I'm your hookup. Holla if you hear me.
Look at my biceps. I have 180 pounds of core muscle. You have 230 pounds of fat.
Get out of my league, pal. You couldn't carry my bags, carry my boots, or my jock strap.
I'm in your league, Beast.
No, you're
You're
not.
just fat.
You're just a dumbass with the lowest IQ of shit, syphilis, and dog turd because you're weak. I will kill you in an anal blast concert. I will rip your throat out in a Cradle of Filth show, and I can sure destroy you during Demi Borger.
Good
And
job.
even Emperor.
I have a question for you. Sam says, were you varsity in the dwarf tossing?
I know
Sam-
more black metal than you.
Beast, were you varsity in throwing? Because honestly, Beast, I can throw a shot put further than you.
No, you can't, Pally. You're not in the same league. You're not with the big boys like.
Did you ever throw a shot put in your life, Beast? And did you ever sprint?
Kid, first of all, you're a
job.
weakling. You're 100 pounds of diaper shit on a cold day. You're not even worth a bucket of raviolis. Except there's one thing you can't do. You can't cook ravioli, but I sure could love to eat those raviolis, but I like mine fresh. You don't have this. You don't have the body. You don't have the physique. You don't got the belts. You don't got shit. Weak, self-simple-minded, idiotically foolish, and You're minor leagues, pal. You're the minor league.
I have strong muscles. I have 180 pounds of pure muscle, Beast. You have most of your muscles are fat, honestly.
You know what this looks like to me? Woo-hoo. Yeah, all right. Look at this right here. Quit jerking my chain and act like you're something you're not. You're not in the same department or even the ball game, pal. If I was younger than you, I'd smoke your ass 50 home runs a game because why? When I was your age, I was smoking baseballs unlike you, Pally. You couldn't smoke a baseball to save your ass.
Beast, I would smoke you in track. Beast, come down home though. I will smoke you on the track with my cardio. I will smoke you in a sprint.
Hey, you want me to put my Mets jersey on for Mike Piazza? Because I got one right now, Pally.
Good job.
You don't know shit about that because you're a little boy with small balls.
Beast, I'm a faster runner than you, honestly.
You know, monkey ass. Go back to finding whatever it came from, and go back under your rock.
Good job.
Because at 272, I could throw you around like a little lost puppy. You're just
you're 272 pounds is pure fat. It's not real muscle. It's mainly fat.
This could be
That's a good one, Mr. Trust Me, bro, on Beast's attic roof. Look at that. He's gonna throw.
Except here's one problem. He would be picked up for a one-winged angel, courtesy of maybe the next Kenny Omega. Something you know shit about because you don't know nothing about wrestling. You haven't been to the game. You haven't been to the big time. You're just a small little chimp. Okay? You're a chimp. And you're a wimp. But I do know one thing. You're just a one-legged gimp who's got nothing. Now take a ticket, get in line, and build some charisma.
Where is the diddler? Where is the diddler? That bastard has to get back. Get back in Arkham, diddler.
How you doing, Bad Fella?
Made a shortage of baby oil.
You're gonna crush Chef Kevin today in Asmaniac Madness. You're gonna win this matchup.
Get back into Arkham. Get back. That's all I have to say.
What's up?
You're up, man.
I'm just on the Ziagin show. I'm just on the show today.
Can you hear me?
Let's see this. See that right there? That could poke your eye out real easily. This is enough to knock your brains in half. I could squash you real fast, kid. Let me give you a hint. You're like a small...
Anybody want a nutty buddy?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a show. Big thank you to Robby Sabo for surviving 4 trips to the hole in a single show. You guys are the best. I don't know what Beast said about something about, and I don't even know if I can repeat that. Either way, what a show it was. We're back this afternoon, a film breakdown on Cade Clubnick. Clubbing with Cade this afternoon. Joe Blewett breaks down his 2024 film that had him as a top 3 overall player going into the college football season. That's at 4 p.m. Before that, though, join me, Rich Samini, and Brandon Tierney, Jets Collective YouTube channel. That's in less than 2 hours. So it's 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll talk to you guys then. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show it's been. What a week it has been for the New York Jets. Jets, Jets. Join the Patreon if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys soon. And I will leave you, though, with something that I think needs to be played. It's powerful. It's magical. And it represents what this show is all about. Go Jets.
You guys laugh. It's not funny.
This is regurgitating.
Those are 2 fairly young men.
You want to see what a real man looks like?
They don't care. They think it's funny that they're sickly and ill.
This ain't no bullshit.
Beast and Gorman look great.
Yeah, they're both physical specimens.
Destructive but constructive.
That's extraordinary, yeah.
272 pounds, muscle and might.
I'm all thrown off here. I'm all flustered here. Can I get to my jet point?
Yeah, you could try.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't fuck off, I don't know what else will. Have a good day.
Asmaniacs, let's go Jets. Asmaniacs, off-season jam. Asmaniacs, ooh, gee, bitches. Asmaniacs, what's your superpower? Asmaniacs, we're built for this shit. Asmaniacs. Asmaniacs, let's go Jets. Asmaniacs, off-season jam. Asmaniacs, ooh, gee, bitches. Asmaniacs, what's your superpower? Asmaniacs, we're built for this shit.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.